Hey guys, it's me, Thomas. And here are my friends. Also, I fit on this track. That is the same track that is... I only barely fit on it. I just bounced on the track. I just feel like I'm in the Arizona, California from Diesel D199 animated short. Here's some of my other friends that can fit on the track. Also, I have a clone of myself, so yeah. Henry can also fit on this track, but he's a bit long. He's pretty long. So one part of him is on the track and one of them is close to falling off the track. And here's the non-moving one. Me. Another me. The more detailed me, I just skid across the track. And here are the ones that actually can move on the track and don't jump up and down that much. Percy. Specifically the pullback Percy. Whee! Why is that loud noise? Okay. And here's James. Which might I remind you, is just a copy of the same model that was used in the James is Here, James' Brother video from James is Here, which is now named James is Spooked. Only for the October month. So boom, here's James, or James is here right now. That is a corny joke to James is here. Okay, let's do this. Okay, James is stuck. Okay, so if you have this kind of train, I just added the number 1 detail. So you have this kind of train. If you have this kind of train and this kind of track and these models, I highly recommend you guys play around with this, because it's actually pretty fun to play with. Whoosh! Okay. Now here's me playing around with these. Thomas, what are you doing? Not much. What are you doing? My splashes were removed. Okay, Henry, your splashes were removed. Okay, and I'm not in my old shape though. They removed the part. Okay, I'm just gonna leave. I'll push you, Henry. Sorry for the cringes noise. You'll never feel the pain of sitting here doing nothing. Ah! Push me, Thomas. Okay, Henry, you broke down. Okay, Okay, while I am here, while I am okay, before I end up the vlog, I want to do like a review on some of the models that I have. Some of the models that I have are so this is the Golden Bear Thomas from Golden Bear, made back in, I don't know when this model was made. I'm gonna see what date is on this model. 1995. This model was made in 1995, and it barely has a scratch. Well, maybe on the eyebrows, but barely any scratches on the paintwork, and barely any few nicks on the paintwork. This is kind of in mint condition. It's kind of in mint condition. Now let's look at Henry. Henry is probably by far the longest model that I have that can fit on this track. Not including that one because it's big. It's bigger than Henry. I'm only talking about the Thomas & Friends models that can fit on this track, and this is the longest model that can fit on this track. So, yeah. Let me talk about Henry. Henry is by far the most inaccurate Henry that I've seen. Is one of the most inaccurate Henrys that I've seen. I haven't seen any other Henrys, so the only inaccuracies that I have is Henry has no splashers, and you may think he's in his old shape, but no, he doesn't have like his new shape either. And I don't know if this is on the actual Henry models, but I do know. Henry's dome is more of a like rectangular shape from the top. This is Gordon's dome. Did they just use a Gordon model? Did they use like a little Gordon model and just remove the splashers and turn this off and then just remolded it to make it look like Henry's fender? I don't know the specifics, but I know this is just the most inaccurate. This is one of the most inaccurate Henry models I've seen so far. Okay, here it is. Here's the next models. Here's James. Honestly, this James is pretty accurate to the TV show, except the wheels. But everything else on this model, I mean, it has a white running board. It has the coal load, this realistic coal load. It has the stripes. It has the golden dome. It has the gold. It's not really gold. It's just yellow, and it even has the funnel, and it even has the same. Well. And it even has buffers, and it has like a little uncoupling rod thing on the front and the back. The only nitpicks that I have is that about these models, because yes, there is another model of Percy that I'm going to review, and I'm going to tell you what's wrong with Percy compared to James. Now I'm bringing Percy. Now, tell me, what do you think the nitpick that I have with Percy over James? Have you found it yet? Well, for the people who haven't found it, it's the running board. The running board isn't detailed like on James. That's because he's an older model that came out like a longer time ago. This one is a recent model, and I'm planning to get pullback Thomas. I'm planning to get that kind of model, but there's some pros and cons to these two pullback characters. Here's a pro for James. He's a lot more. He has a white running board and has like a lot more detail. And well, Percy doesn't have that. And here's a pro for Percy. Percy has his whistle, but James doesn't. I mean, come on. You could have just placed like a little like flat little whistle thing, or you could just make it a whole different piece. Like stick it right here, and then just mold the yellow whistle, and then I could have put this on one of the greatest models in the Thomas pullback range that I have seen. Well, get some use, some you don't. And okay, so there's some other peeves that I have, but I'm not gonna address them in this video because I don't remember what those peeves are. And boom, and the last model that can fit on this track that barely moves at all because he doesn't have wheels. Bath Toy Thomas. Let me reiterate that. Bath Toy Thomas. It's a bath toy, and this thing can fit on these rails. So yeah, the face is pretty accurate. It has the two whistles. It has the red stripes. It has the dome. Has the coal load that is pretty accurate. It has side rods. It has like the little triangle pizza things in between, or like little things to make it look like it's an actual train. And like the pullback range, it has like this like semicircle coupling rod, front coupling, and back coupling too. But there are some flaws with this that I hope they fix, that I hope they like make a newer one in the future, that I hope they need to fix. So let me tell you some of the details that I hope they need to fix if they want to make a newer model. So step 1, paint the buffers. I understand it's a bath toy, but why couldn't you just paint the buffers? It could have been like a waterproof material. It should have been a waterproof material. And the running board, again, waterproof material. So those are the only two pet peeves that I have with this model. And overall, these models are actually pretty cool because they get to fit on this big, like, large-scale track. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It'll help me a lot to create quality content. And be sure to click the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. Okay, I'm out.